Hola, ¿qué tal amigos, compañeros? Yo quisiera compartir algo con ustedes, algo que yo tengo mucho tiempo de pensar. Ah, pues todavía no he encontrado alguna manera para decirlo bien. So, voy a intentar, voy a probarlo, a hacerlo a ver cómo puedo. Es que mucha gente me pregunta, ¿cómo aprendiste su idioma con toda claridad, con tanta claridad? Tienes un talento, ah, tienes un regalo de la mano de Dios para hacerlo tan rápido, tan suavemente. Yo quiero hacerlo como tú, pero eres muy talentoso. Yo no puedo hacerlo. Yo no tengo, ah, yo no tengo la capacidad de hacer lo que hiciste. ¿Cómo puedo hacerlo yo? ¿Ah? No eres especial y yo soy nada. Eso es lo que la mayoría de la gente me dice. Pues estoy aquí para decirle que eso no es la verdad. Right. So, what's up, everybody? People ask me, how do you learn languages so clearly? You must have a gift or a talent, or you were just graced by the hands of God or something, because I can't do that. And everyone telling me that is using the language that they learned the easiest to tell me that. I can't do that. I can't do what you did. But in order to tell me that what you can't do, you had to have learned the language well enough to formulate that sentence, and then you put your emotion behind it and throw it on me and expect me to accept that. I don't. What I see here is just a lot of confusion. That's all. All you have to do is tap back into the understanding you had when you were born on this planet, and you'll be right back where you need to be to learn. You see, energy is energy. Even though it has many forms, its essence is always the same. 2 plus 2 has the same essence as 1,000 divided by 250. Okay? 1,000 divided by 250 has the same essence as 1,000 divided by 996. Has the same essence as 400 divided by 100. You see, it changes many forms. The essence of water is the same, even though it may come in the form of ice. It may come in the form of a fluid, and it may come in the form of a gas. Okay, but it's still essentially, at its essence, the same. Well, learning is essentially the same. You see, I've always wanted to learn languages since I was a young child, but I was distracted like everyone else that I've met by how we're taught to forget what we know and embrace the theories and the hypotheses and the formulations of other people. And these formulations don't have to be based on anything other than an authority figure telling it to you. But the highest authority is the truth, and the truth is what actually happens. So you never go out and experiment and build future experiments off of what actually happens. And that's what I recommend you do with language learning. Just start right there. Exercises exist so that you exert force into direct reality, because direct reality is the most truthful realm that we know. It's sort of like you may have an idea and you plug it into a calculator. The calculator is going to give you a truthful answer. Well, direct reality is our existence's calculator. So I had an idea on how to go about learning a second language, and I said, okay, what language did I learn the best? My first one, English. How did I learn English? What exactly did I do? What exercises did I do? to get stronger in the foundation I needed to build English up. So when you look at nature, everything starts as a conception. It starts as a seed. And when you look at a seed start to grow, it doesn't grow its trunk first. It doesn't grow the leaves first. It doesn't grow the stems first. Every seed in this reality starts at the root. It develops its root system first. Why does it develop its root system first? Because the foundation is where the understanding of the tree is built. Because if a tree gets too big, too tall, and it has an underdeveloped root system, it's going to be top heavy and fall over. It's not going to be stable. Stability is about balance. Balance is about harmony. Energies coming together and moving and creating a harmony. That's what we know is beauty. That's what we know is sounding good. That's what we know is looking good. It's balance. So, as the tree gets taller, the root system gets deeper. Its understanding gets deeper. Lost my lighting here. This ain't getting edited out. This is part of it. We just keep it real here, So keep on following me here. So the point of exercise is to test what's in our mind against direct reality in order to deepen our root system, our understanding. And from that understanding, all of the attributes that we display to the world grow. Because the seed is planted under the ground. Nobody can see it. It's just an idea. Okay? Then it takes root. And once the root system has reached a sufficient point for the plant to start testing direct reality, it now comes out of the ground. It's now unveiled. And as it matures and pushes into the direct reality, its understanding pushes deeper into the ground. So the soil for the seeds of our ideas is our mind. No one can see them, but it's real, and you must follow nature's process to efficiently grow from idea to pushing against direct reality, to deepen your understanding, to manifestation of the seed you planted. I say all that to say this. When I wanted to learn Spanish, which was language number 2, actually, I wanted to learn Vietnamese first, but whew, that was just too hard, So I took the opportunity of a situation I was in to learn Spanish. The process of learning Spanish taught me how the mind works. The analogy I would use to try to get you to understand what I'm saying is the conscious mind is a bucket, the subconscious mind is a well. In this society, we're taught to put all of our attention onto the bucket, and we put so much attention on the bucket, the conscious mind, that we forget about the power and the depth and the immense content of wisdom and information that each one of us possess in our well, in our subconscious mind. See, the conscious mind can only focus on what it's focused on, and everything else is discarded. Whereas the non-conscious mind sees all that the conscious mind does and stores everything. So you can go back into you can always dip the bucket back into the well and come back out with what you were not conscious of, but you did experience. That's how powerful energy is. So in order to test my idea against direct reality, I created exercises. And you have to do this. Now, the exercises I created They fit my situation. They came from my will, from my internal understanding, and I pushed against direct reality from that. So if I give you examples of my exercises, do understand that my exercises are unique in their function to me. See, you understand what you need to do. You just need to have the boldness to do it. So some of the things I would do to push myself into fluency in Spanish. Well, the first thing I did was that I listened to music. Now, when I say that, everyone who hears those words are going to hear different things. So I have to go deeper and describe what I'm saying when I say listen to music. And remember, it's on the hearer to hear what I'm saying. What I'm saying is what I'm saying, and it's on you, the hearer, to really attempt to understand my concept when I say I listen to music. On a deep level, I understand that everything is about how we feel emotionally. Even the words we speak in our native languages come from an emotional place. When we try to learn language 2, 3, and 4, we never learn to connect the new language to our emotionality. But the emotion is where all the life is. You want fluency? Well, flow is all about life. Anything that that's alive moves. Anything that's dead is still. So you want your language to become alive, but you never connect it to the most liveliest source, your heart. See, you have to work on that. That's the exercise. The exercise is designed to move the knowledge of the new language from here into the heart, where you don't have to think about it here. You feel it here, and feeling is the most potent form of thought. Understanding is a feeling. It's not really anything going up on here. You feel it right here when you understand something. So you want to bring the new language from here into here. How do you do that? So I listen to music. Now, when I say listen to music, I mean listening past the words. I give an example. When we read these language materials, you'll see words all over the place. But the words as they're written are useless if you don't understand where the words came from. So for instance, in a newspaper or in a book, you can see, 1, 2. You can see the number 1 and the number 2 written. Those are symbols. Okay? Symbols draw out from what you already understand. So when a native speaker of Vietnamese, for instance, hears now, if you've never experienced before, when you see 1, 2 written and your native language was English, you may get that symbol back as. Now, which one is right? Well, if your native language is English and you look at that text and you hear, 10A, that's not Vietnamese. Vietnamese is tiếng Anh. That's what Vietnamese is. See, you look at English, the symbol that comes out of you is 10A. In Espanol, it might be. In Spanish, it might be, tien, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. Anything you see written down is just a symbol to draw out what you already understand. So if it's not in you already, you won't get it correctly. Okay? Đàm thoại, tứ vòng, tiếng Anh, theo chuỗi để te ayude. You see, if it's not in you already, you won't get it. So if you haven't put the seed in and allowed the root system to develop itself, then anything you read is going to be worthless. I'm here to tell you to do the work to develop that root system. So when I start to learn a language, I may not talk more than 1 or 2 words for months, because I understand the most important part of any building is the foundation. You know, I can start and build the greatest house, but if I didn't show up that foundation, it's going to go for naught, because the natural elements are going to punish me for having undeveloped the foundation. You see, the strongest trees, the ones that last forever, nature has developed their root system to a point where they can withstand anything. The reason that your most trusted people in whatever endeavor are the most trusted is because their foundation is deep and powerful. You have to work on this foundation. Even if you read your Bible and they tell you the creation story, the Creator spent 6 full days building the environment in which His creation would flourish. You know, He spent 6 full days on that. And on the 7th day, He was done. Now His creation had the environment in place, and it was able to use its own energy to continue to flourish in the environment that He physically put together. The creation story is there to tell you how to learn. The seed that you plant under the ground, remember, you can't see it. It's there, but you can't see it. Your senses can't perceive it, but it's there. The truth of it is that it's there. It will make itself known once it has its time. You see, your creation, your fluency in your next language has its own time, its own life force that you have to cultivate. And once its energy becomes sufficient enough to carry it on, then you don't have to worry about it anymore. You can rest, if you will. And according to the Bible, right, the Creator has not come off of that rest day. He didn't really go back to physically doing anything. You know, all He had to do was give His vibration, His word, to kind of maintain it. And that's kind of how it is for me, and the language I learned real good, el español, the Spanish. I don't have to intentionally go and get Spanish in order to stay fluent. I don't have to intentionally put it around me in order for it to get even stronger. It's just that it's a part of who I am. It's right here. El idioma español es una parte de quien soy yo. Yo no tengo que pensar aquí en lo que quiero decir para disfrutar ese gran idioma. Es una parte de quien soy yo. Y cada cosa que aprendo, cada cosa que estudio, llega a ser una parte de mí. Porque cada cosa que involucra a mí, siempre será una parte de mí. So, yo tuve que permitir el idioma cambiarme mi manera de pensar en otra manera. Mi manera de pensar es algo que yo quiero crecer por el resto de mi vida. ¿Ok? ¿Me entiendes? So, I let things I learn change how I think. If I'm thinking the same way I did a year ago, 2 years ago, 5 years ago, something's wrong with me. My thinking must evolve. And the thing that changes my thinking the most is learning. Deep learning. Planting seeds, cultivating them, allowing the root system to take form, and then, boom, that's who I am. So, this is what I mean when I say, get books in the language you want to learn, because it's going to show you exactly where you are. Now, I recommend, as an exercise, when you listen to music, and if you're not bold, do this alone. But the idea is to listen and be quiet. Just listen, open your heart up, and feel what the singer is saying. The words are not what he's saying. I don't understand what he's saying. He's saying all these other words. No. Listen behind the words. The words are an attempt to express what he's saying. But what he's saying is what he's saying before he even utters a word. And you can feel that. What you want to say may be completely different than the words you use to say it. You may not be skilled at using the words to say what you want to say. But a well-trained listener can hear what you want to say, even though your ability to say that which you are saying is not up to par. Always listen for what's being said and always stay true to what you're saying. Because what you're saying is what you're saying whether you had the words to use to say it or not. And what that singer is saying is conveyed in the entire tone. So, like my example earlier, when you hear and another person hears, because their languages are different, you have to go to the culture itself, and so you get into that rhythm of that culture. So not only do you have, but you learn. So now you are able to shift your energy and hear what they have to say in the rhythm they're giving it to you. That's what language is. So when you listen to music, you're listening for the entire thing. When you watch a movie and you're listening for how they speak, you're looking and you're experiencing the whole thing. When you go to the people and you eat from their food, you eat from their dinner table, and you're talking or you're listening to the conversation, you're looking to take in the whole vibe. Concentration over focus. When you focus, you eliminate things. You're eliminating things. But the truth of the matter is, everything is still there. So concentration means bringing all things into a center point. That way you can use it all. So we concentrate on all of how those people speak. What do they feel like? You know, why is this word this word? You know, why is this word this word? You know, this is just my attempt. I'm using words to try to show you what I'm saying, but you can never know what I'm saying until you yourself are able to say the same thing. And understanding is a feeling. So your emotions are like tuning forks or radio frequencies or whatever you want to call them. Okay, everything starts there. And I'm trying my best to convey this information, but only those people who are really listening will hear this anyway. And in order to understand this, you have to do exercises in order to reach a level of understanding yourself. Listening to words is not how we learn people. Listening to words is not how we reach understanding people. Direct action is. Because direct action is a whole question, and the response, what happens because of that action, is a whole response. Words are only partial. How you feel is complete. You see? So I have to reduce what I'm saying into words in order to throw them out there, in order to trigger an understanding that's dormant inside of those who hear me and ignite that. Then when they go and take action, on that idea, then they start to see it too. And that's when you understand, is when you see it. I'm not a genius. I'm not special. I'm just like everyone else. The only difference is I learned to go about learning language 2, 3, 4, and a million the same way. I have a fertile ground. I planted the English seed when I was a youngster. And that was the easiest language I ever learned because it was the most natural process I ever followed. That was no Rosetta Stone when I learned English. Even if it was, I didn't have access to it. What did I do? I absorbed all of the energy around me, and my mind assimilated that energy into a form that I could interact with, and then I started pushing against it, interacting with it, in the form of listening to it and reading it and using it to process my thoughts and talking every now and then. It's amazing what you can learn by being quiet. You don't need to go out there and talk a lot. No. When I was learning Spanish, I was quiet for about 4 or 5 months. By month 7, yo pude platicar con la gente con todo sentimiento, porque yo pude sentir cada palabra que dije, el ritmo que tengo mientras de hablar, ya lo tuve dentro de mí. No es una grabación de ninguna persona. See, I already had the understanding in me before I started doing a lot of talking in Spanish. The beauty about reading is that reading shows you exactly what you understand without any kind of confusion. When you read a text, you know exactly where you are in that phase. And this is where patience comes in. Patience is allowing the natural process to develop. Whenever you try to throw fertilizer on it, you might fuck up the chemical balance of the ground and kill off any chance that seed has to grow. You have to remain patient, you have to do the work, and you have to stay consistent in doing that work. And it's going to pop. It's guaranteed. When you concentrate your energy into doing the steps necessary to secure that foundation, time slows down for you. Every day may seem like a week to you, but it's actually one day to everyone else. When you concentrate, time slows down. You learn faster, chronologically. But every single detail that you are aware of and are manipulating, it slows time down for you. I ain't got time to learn. Man, I was working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week when I learned Spanish, man. Don't give me that excuse about what time you got. And what was interesting was most of my time was not on book study. Book study came after I became comfortable with the language. And that's something I feel. See? Everyone who's strong started weak, because that's how nature works. So and here's the thing about it's too hard or it's too easy. Ease and difficulty. Hard means stale and stagnant. Ease means free flowing and fluent. That's what that means, first of all. So ease is analogous to something having full life. That is, it's able to shift forms, it's malleable, it's able to flow, it's fluid. It just moves. And hard means it's stale, it's stuck, it's stacked. It won't move. No life in it. What's the difference? You as the creator must inject your own energy into it until it starts moving. And when it starts moving, you keep encouraging it to move, and eventually it's going to have its own ability to move. And on that 7th day, you rest. The creator already showed you how to do it. Over and over and over again. You just need to understand. You're not here to marvel the creator's creation. You're here to learn how to create from the creator and then create. I used Spanish to learn how to learn because academically I couldn't learn. I was taught that learning was rote memory. Memorize this, regurgitate it on the test. My mind always rejected that, and I thought I was dumb for years. But then, when I graduated high school and started working, and I was at the most busy point of my life, working 7 days a week, 16 hours a day, that's when I started using my mind to solve problems. I realized that I was in certain situations because of errors in thinking. And so, if I was in this position because of the conceptions my mind was creating, then maybe I need to address things from a thought level first. And that's when things started to turn around for me. I became my mind revivified. It's very lively. I don't have dead space in my mind. My mind is always moving. No matter what I lay my eyes on, my hands on, my ears on, my skin on, it's always thinking. It's always processing information. And that well is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And all I have to do is keep dipping my bucket in and pulling out what I need at any given time. We all have that ability. It's just that I chose to exercise my ability. Exercise, exert force. And when you exert energy and put energy into a certain area, the energy gives you a return and doubles on itself. You do it again, you get stronger in it. I'm strong in certain areas because I intentionally developed them. I don't want to hear this mess about how Dex is special because he learns languages easy. You know, I learn them easily because of all the work I put in. You know, part of me does get offended, but part of me has to realize that most people are going on definitions handed to them, and they haven't decided to make Webster's dictionary a book of recommendations rather than a book of law. Because sometimes definitions handed to you by others is not sufficient to express what you are really saying. So learn to move, think, act, and say exactly what you're really saying. Confusion goes away. So with that, you know, that's my time. Leave your questions, comments. They will be gotten to. And in the energy of the language I'm studying now, tiếng Việt, chúc các bạn ngày mới vui vẻ nhé.